everyone, Caren Glasser here, and welcome to Once Upon a Story Time. I am so excited that you're here today. We have an amazing show, and whether you're here live or on replay, it doesn't matter. Make sure you say hi in the comments. Today, we are welcoming back Celebrity Chef Mychael Chang to the show, and we are joining her in the kitchen for the Halloween show. Eat, drink, and be scary. At a very early age, she knew what she wanted to be. She wanted to be a chef. Every weekend, she would stand on a dining room chair and position herself so that she had a clear view of her parents as they cooked. She's been a columnist for several magazines and websites, including Cooking Smart, Jasmine, and She Knows. Mychael was also the resident chef for the CBS show Eye on the Bay, which aired each evening in Northern California. Currently, she's the resident chef for Hum Nutrition and Carlos and Lisa's show in Los Angeles. She teaches their viewers practical cooking and entertaining tips. As a celebrity chef, she has cooked for former presidents, not just one, many, Fortune 400 moguls, as well as some of the most celebrated actors in the world. How cool is that? We bring Mychael into the show. Hey, Mychael, how you doing?
Hi, Caren. How are you? I'm well. How are you?
I am doing great. I'm so excited about this show. I love your shirt. Creep it real.
Keep it real.
I love it. That's awesome. Wait, I want to put a comment up. Craig Irwin says, hi. Hi, Craig.
Hi, thanks for joining us.
We're glad that you joined us. We're so excited. We have a lot of things going on today. We're going to be airing actually 3 videos of some decorations. And guys, when you go over to onceuponastorytime.live, you can actually pick up a copy of the free download. It gives you all the decorating tips. It gives you everything. Go look in the comments right now. There's a link for you to go download it so that you can join us later on and actually cook and decorate with us. All right, so we have a couple of videos we're going to show, and then we're going to come back in the kitchen with our 2 young friends. We have Chloe, and then we have another young woman, Vivian, who's going to be joining us, and you're going to cook. You're going to cook some scary food, right?
We are. Really fun food.
All right. So I'm going to drop you down in the green room. I'm going to throw up some videos so that we can watch them, and then I will welcome you back.
Sounds good.
Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and put some videos into the stream. 1, 2, here we go, and 3. All right, so here's video number 1. Take a listen and enjoy.
So today I'm going to show you some really easy and cool ways to decorate your front entranceway for Halloween. I'm all about creativity and affordability. So let's start here. I love the concept of doing like a white and black theme. I think there's something super elegant and sophisticated about it instead of just using your standard orange and black. So here we've got these white and black pumpkins. These I purchased either at Walmart for like $3 or Michael's for maybe $2 or $3. And then this I think looks really amazing. These are branches from my tree in the backyard. I simply cut it off. I got some craft black paint and I spray painted this in a matte black that's waterproof. Took a little bit of cobwebbing from the Dollar Tree and then bought these ravens on Amazon, I think for really cheap as well, maybe 15 of them for like $7.99. So I think this is a great little prop for your front door entranceway. I got these crows from Michael's. You can just go ahead and put some animals like some rats. And then also I bought this bird bath on Let Go for about $10 last year. I filled it up with water and I kind of made this mock little bird bath with it, which I think looks great as well. The other thing I did was I took this skeleton that I just bought on Amazon for about 20 bucks. Dressed up the skeleton in a dress and an old veil, and then made it look like she was having a cup of tea. This is something that I bought from the antique store for $5. These little props, the flowers, the rats, and all of these chains, I bought at the 99-cent store. And again, more of the black branches spray painted with the ravens on top. And then the last thing I want to show you up here is the door. This is a really cool wreath that I bought at Walmart. And I bought this last year, and it's made of styrofoam, and I was so annoyed because his finger was broken. I went through like 8 of them, and all the fingers were broken, so instead of just putting it away, what I did was I painted his broken finger red, so it looks like he has a bloody finger. So again, it's all about being super creative. This chain is from Michael's. It's $3.50. And again, we did this with the doorway entrance and the birds, and then again, more of the pumpkins. So these are just some really cool and easy ideas for you. I want to bring you inside now because I want to show you how I decorated the mantles inside my house that are really fun and super easy for you. Now we're in the inside of my house and I want to show you how I decorated the mantle this year. We'll start off with these. These are candle holders that I recently just purchased at Michael's Arts and Crafts, and they were 50% off, so they were about $14 each. And I just put the dollar store candles in here. The skulls I love, they look kind of realistic. These I purchased at Cost Plus last year, along with these candles at Cost Plus that were on a clearance, and I think these were about $3. These were maybe about $7 or $8. I took some old antique books that I had from an old bookshelf from 20 years ago, and I just stacked up two of the books. Little bird cage from the 99-cent store. I put a little raven from Amazon. And then down here, I did these skeleton little animals here. Again, I love the black and the white look in my home. This is just a little fake leafy branch that I picked up from Michael's. And again, these are super easy. I didn't have to make anything inside here, and really cool looking and affordable. So welcome to my family room, and I wanted to show you the mantle that I've done here in the family room. So again, these are white pumpkins that I recently just bought at Michael's, $3 each. These are real white pumpkins that I purchased at Pavilions. They were 89 cents on sale today. And then again, these candlestick holders, these are silver candlesticks that I've owned for over 30 years. So be creative and look for things in your house that you can actually use. And then the owls here, I bought at the 99-cent store. And then again, the Cost Plus candles here. I bought this little prop from, I think it was Michael's, the feather from the dollar store. And then what I did was I've had these antique print pictures for over 30 years. I've owned them. And what I did was I just hung them up kind of crooked, and I put a little bit of webbing. If you want to get real close, you can see the webbing here. There's a little spider right there. And I hung them crooked, which I think adds kind of like this spooky feel to your house. If you don't have prints like this, I would just go online and download black and white prints and buy really cheap frames. They even sell the frames at the dollar store. Black frames, and go ahead and do it this way. So I think, again, black and white theme, super cool looking, elegant, and sophisticated. I hope you try these at home.
And we're back. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. You are so talented. We have a comment I want to put up on the screen.
Okay.
Adrian says, can't wait to see what you're going to make. I can't either. I think it's scary food though, right?
It's fun, kid-inspired food. I love Halloween. I always have. I remember going trick-or-treating with my two older sisters, and I mean, what kid doesn't love getting dressed up and getting a bunch of candy? So I hosted a Halloween party every year for my daughter here at the house since she was 3 years old. And we decorate the house, the outside and the inside, and we do really fun foods and desserts. And it's just honestly the funnest party I think of the year.
You know, and in this day and age that we're living in right now, and so many of the states are saying, you know, it's not safe to send the kids out. This is a perfect thing to do at home. And it's why we did the show. You and I talked about this. It's why we did the show. It's a way to bring Halloween inside if you're used to being outside all the time. So I'm going to put you on solo. I'm going to have you introduce our friends, and we're going to start cooking in the kitchen with you. Here we go.
So the first thing that we're going to make is a bloody tomato soup, and I call this the vampire soup. And my first little kitchen assistant is going to be Miss Vivian. So Vivian, come on out.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good. You put your little poker down?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to do this tomato soup, and I'll tell you why I love this tomato soup. Most children and kids, as you know, they really do like the flavor of tomato soup. But I do notice that there's a lot of cream and butter, and it tends to be a little bit on the not so healthy side. So this is a really delicious roasted tomato soup that I make that doesn't have any dairy in it. We're going to use a little bit of yogurt just to do the garnish at the end, but that's something that you can obviously omit as well. So Vivian, we're going to start. I'm going to just kind of direct you, and you're basically just going to be doing this by yourself. So we're going to start with about a tablespoon of olive oil. So if you want to grab that olive oil and just drizzle it into the pot. It's hot here, okay? That's perfect. So we've got about a tablespoon of olive oil in here. And then we're just gonna put the onions here. I have one brown onion that's medium dice, as well as 2 cloves of garlic. So go ahead and grab that bowl, and I'll hold it for you, and you can just pour that in. And that's going into the soup pot here. And we're just gonna cook this. I usually cook this for about 10 minutes until it's tender. And so I've got it on pretty high heat right now. So go ahead and give that a stir bit. And I love this recipe as well because a lot of the stuff that you have here, we have in the pantry. You know, we really have olive oil, usually some crushed tomato. I'm using crushed Italian tomatoes here. You can use fire roasted tomatoes. You can use a really good bottle of marinara sauce. Just use what you have. I'm all about practicality. So we're going to go ahead and saute this. And obviously we're doing this in real time now. So we're going to move a little bit faster. So Vivian, let's go ahead and put the dry spices in. There's some dry oregano and basil. It's a teaspoon of each. That can go in. And then we're going to do the salt and pepper. It's about a teaspoon of kosher salt, about half a teaspoon of fresh black pepper, and a teaspoon of sugar. It's not that much, but the sugar is important because the tomatoes are acidic. And so it's just going to take a little bit of that acid out of the tomato soup. We're going to give that a stir dip. You smell the onions and the garlic?
Yeah, so good.
Yeah. So I know you really like to cook.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. What kind of things do you like to cook at home?
Well, my grandma makes these really good, like, they're kind of like meatballs. In Russian, they're called kotlety.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, they're really good. Also, like salads, cut salads and pastas.
That sounds great. So let's go ahead and pour the crushed tomatoes in here now. Just use 2 hands and you're going to go ahead and dump the tomatoes in. Perfect. All of it. Great. And you're just going to give it a stir. And then the last thing that we're going to add here, just to give it a little bit more body and liquid to the soup, we're going to add a little bit of chicken stock. And again, you can use vegetable broth if you wanted to. You don't have to use chicken. I feel like the chicken definitely adds a lot more flavor. But by all means, go ahead and use vegetable stock if you want to keep it completely vegan. So Viv, go ahead and take the cap off of that chicken stock and just pour. I would say maybe about 2 cups, and I'll tell you when. So just go ahead and pour. Perfect. Keep going. I feel like that's good. And just give it a gentle stir. This is one of my favorite. This is probably my favorite organic chicken stock that's on the market right now. It's from a company called Imagine. And it's the only one that I buy. Literally, you unscrew the top and you smell it. It smells like a pot of chicken soup that's been boiling in your house. So I highly, highly recommend this company brand, Imagine. Okay. So now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna bring this to a boil, and then we're gonna reduce it to a simmer, and we're gonna cook this for about 20 minutes over the stove. So we obviously don't have that time right now. So I already have a batch that's already made. So we're gonna scoop this aside. So I'm going to put this on the stove to continue cooking. And I'm just going to move my burner. And so we're going to pretend that the soup has been cooking on the stove for 20 minutes and it's done. And so this is what it looks like. It's just cooked down. It's reduced a little bit. The tomatoes have gotten really sweet there. And now what we want to do is puree it. So there are a couple different methods that you can use. I like using the Vitamix blender because you're going to get the smoothest, creamiest puree with this. If you don't have a Vitamix, you could use a regular blender. You could also use a food processor or a handheld blender. But by far, this is, I think, the best way to puree the soup. And because it whips it up so creamy and so it purees it so much, it adds a creaminess to this soup that you wouldn't be able to achieve with something that wouldn't puree it as well. So we're gonna put a few spoons of the tomato soup in here. And we're just gonna put the lid on, and it's just gonna take a couple of seconds. So I'm gonna take a quick peek. And I think that was about 10 seconds. And this is the texture that you're looking for. I mean, there are no clumps or anything chunky anymore. And then I'm just going to pour it into, I like using always white bowls. I think it looks great. And I think a really fun garnish that I like to do is there's some Greek yogurt in here. You can also use sour cream. If you don't want to use dairy, you don't have to do the garnish, but I think it looks really cute. So I just put it in a little Ziploc bag. It's like my makeshift pastry bag. I'm going to do one. I'm going to show Viv, and then she can do her own. And then I just cut the little tip right here. And then I'm just going to start in the middle, and then I'll bring this closer so that the viewers can have a better look. I'm just doing a swirl, just like this. Just like that. So go ahead and try this. Start in the center and just do like a little swirl. Just squeeze down and squeeze gently. And then I'm going to get a skewer and I'm going to start from the middle. And I'm just going to bring it out to the edge. Oh, you did a better job than I did. So you bring it out to the edge and it makes this really cute. You start here, Vivian, and you go out. And it makes this really cute web pattern, like a spider web pattern, which I think is really festive. That looks great. Vivian's looks better than mine, I have to say.
Thank you.
So there you go. That's our vampire bloody tomato soup. You did such a great job, Vivian.
Thank you.
So I'm going to clear this up and then we'll get on to our next dish, which is going to be a bloody eyeball spaghetti. And I'm going to have my little cook, Chloe, come join me. Hi, Chloe.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good. I'm just going to clear this and bring the other things in now. So if you put that there. All right. So we're going to make these turkey meatballs and we're going to make them look like eyeballs. So what we want to do is get the ingredients incorporated first. So we have about a pound of ground turkey. I love using the dark meat. I feel like it has more flavor. I feel like it's more tender and it's not that much more caloric than the white meat as well. If you wanted to use chicken, you could use ground chicken. If you wanted to use beef or pork, you could do that as well. I like the turkey because it's really tender and it tends to be a little bit more healthy. So we're going to add some ingredients to this. So Chloe, let's add about half a cup of breadcrumbs and you can dump just the whole thing in there. Yep. Perfect. And then we're going to add about half a cup of Parmesan cheese.
Okay.
Perfect. That's okay. And then we're going to add our dry seasonings. And what I love about this meatball recipe is I use all dry spices like dried onion powder and garlic powder, dried oregano and basil. And it's great because these are items that you normally have in your pantry. They're not going to go bad. You don't have to use fresh garlic or onion. You don't have to run out to the store. These are ingredients that last a really long time in your pantry. So go ahead and put the dry spices in, Chloe. And again, onion powder, yep, garlic powder, fresh black pepper, kosher salt, some oregano and basil.
There you go.
Great. And then we are going to add 1 egg. And whenever, I know a lot of people have different ways of cracking eggs. You know, some people crack it on the edge. I would recommend always crack the egg on a flat surface. I never crack it on the bowl because the shell could crack here and you get bits of eggshell in your food, which you don't want. So I always use a flat surface and I crack my egg in a bowl first, because if I crack it directly in here and I get a piece of shell in there, I'm going to try digging through it, through all of this cheese. It's really difficult, especially with baking as well. So go ahead and, Chloe, 1 tap here, right in here, and let's make sure that we don't get any shell in there. And then if we do get a shell in there, we can pull it out before we actually put it in there.
Is
Excellent.
that shell?
You've done that before. Nope, that's not a shell. If you happen to get a little piece of shell, the easiest way is to just go ahead and grab this shell, put it next to the piece, and it scoops right out. It kind of wants to attach itself to it. So that's good. So we can get the egg in there, Chloe. Okay, and Chloe's hands are clean, so she's just going to go ahead and start mushing. So go ahead and mash. Get all of that incorporated, so you get the meat and everything in there. And we're going to start rolling a couple of the meatballs. If your hands get sticky while you're doing this, you could use a bowl of cold water just to rinse them and then form the meatballs as well. But if your meat's really cold, it tends to be pretty easy to roll the meatballs. And I would say roll them about the size of a golf ball, I think is a good size. They will shrink slightly as we're cooking them. Good job. So just give it a few more mashes.
It like all went together. It was so big at first.
Yeah, right? Okay, so once it's incorporated, I would say, I think your hands are fine. So I would grab maybe like the size of a golf ball, just like this. I think this size is perfect. So just go ahead and put a couple in here, Chloe. Use the palms of your hand, roll, great. And then we're gonna fill that up. That's perfect. And then what I do is I put about 1 cup of water in here with the lid on, and I cook this for about 30 minutes on the stove. And then I drain the water, and then I add some really good quality marinara sauce. Usually I make my own and I put it in the freezer, but if you don't have any homemade ones, my favorite is Rouse that I use. This is an amazing marinara. Bristol Farms also makes a really, really good one. So you can wash your hands, Chloe. So I have some meatballs that have already been cooking for 30 minutes because we don't have time to wait around for these. So I'm gonna move these here. Wash your hands. So these have been cooking on the stove in the water for 30 minutes. Like I said, we drained the water and I added a little bit of the marinara sauce. And so what we want to do is we want to make these meatballs look like eyeballs. So, Chloe, I just have slices of provolone cheese. You can use any cheese that you want. You can use mozzarella slices, provolone, Jack, Jarlsberg, anything you like. So we're going to go ahead and use a basic cookie cutter. And just go ahead and maybe try to get 3 out of these, Chloe.
I think I can get like 4.
Okay, you probably can. Okay, and then once you cut it, you're going to put this on the meatball, and that's going to be like the white part of the eye. Go ahead.
It looks like a happy face.
Yeah. Yep. So let's do a couple more. Perfect. You can put it right directly on there. Yep. Let's do 1 more piece of cheese and put it on there. And then while she finishes the cheese here, we have little olive slices, just sliced olives. They look like the middle part of the eye. So that's going to go on top of the cheese here. And then I'm just going to put the lid on it, and it's just going to kind of like melt a little bit. So it looks kind of like a gooey eyeball. Okay, so Chloe, let's go ahead and put the olive on afterwards. And while you're doing that, I just drained my pasta and I tossed it in a little bit of the marinara sauce. So I'm going to get that onto a platter, and then we're going to get this on the stove, melt the cheese, make these look like bloody gooey eyeballs, and then we're going to plate our pasta. So 2 more here. And then put the lid on, please. And can you bring that pan and just set it on the stove here for me, please? Just right here. Got it? Yep, right there. Be great. So this is the pasta that I've drained. I've just tossed it lightly in the marinara sauce. And so this is just going to go on the bottom of your platter. And again, I love white platters and dishes. And then I'm just going to clean up this little spill. And that literally is just going to take like 30 seconds for that cheese to melt and make it look like a runny, bloody eyeball. So I'm just going to move this. And I'm going to bring Vivian back over here. Viv, why don't you come over here next to Chloe, and I'll let you guys put the eyeballs on the pasta. Okay, so just a few more seconds for that. So Chloe, if you could eat one thing for the rest of your life, you had to pick like one thing to eat, what do you think that would be?
Maybe a fruit.
A fruit is like a specific kind of fruit?
Like watermelon.
Ooh, watermelon sounds good. I could do that.
Blueberries.
Okay.
Grapes.
And what about you, Vivian? If you could eat one food for like the rest of your life, like what would that food be?
Probably sushi.
Sushi. Good choice. Woman after my own heart. Okay, so let's check those meatballs. Okay, so if you can see in the camera, the cheese is melted. They look like little eyeballs. They look really cute. So I just go ahead and put the meatballs right on there. Do you girls want to do a couple too?
You do it first? Sure.
So this is our bloody, creepy eyeball spaghetti. You girls did a great job.
Thank you.
So do you guys want to give a shout out to anybody out there that's watching today, Vivian?
Sure. I want to give a shout out to my mom, my dad, my brother Ben, and my grandparents.
And what about you, Chloe? What about you? Do you want to give it a shout out to anybody?
I'd like to give a shout out to my stepmom and my sisters, and Charlotte, Sierra, and Al.
All right. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Thanks.
Oh my goodness. I'm hungry, guys. I'm totally starved right now. Totally starved. I want some eyeballs. Oh my gosh. Those are just great recipes. We have comments here. Let me just put Adrian said that was a great tip for the
Oh, thank
eggshell.
you.
To get the
Thanks.
eggshell. Yeah, agreed. And really cute ideas, guys. Really cute ideas. Go ahead and pick up a copy of the free download. It has all the recipes in there. It has all the different items that were in the rooms that you were showing us in the video. And it just popped right into the comments over there. Any last thoughts, my friend, about Halloween? And because it's coming up in 2 weeks.
Well, I'm kind of disappointed because we usually have a party for about 20 people. I'm still going to do a very small party with maybe just five of the girls that we've seen since quarantine, and just maybe descale it a bit. And since we can't go trick-or-treating from door to door, what I'm going to do is get a huge piñata and fill it with candy, and then that way it breaks and they can take as much candy as they want. Because we
I love it.
can have fun.
That's awesome. That's totally awesome. Well, I want to wish you a happy Halloween, boo. And I want to thank Vivian and Chloe for joining you today. They did awesome in the kitchen. And hopefully you will come back and join us again, and we'll do some fun stuff in the kitchen with Celebrity Chef Mychael Chang. Guys, we are so thrilled that you joined us today on our Halloween show to eat and be scary. Oh my gosh, I'm scary. I'm scary myself. Oh, and we got the angel. Hi, Chloe.
Thanks for having me, Caren. It was a lot of fun again.
I know, it's so much fun. All right, guys, go out and give somebody an awesome day, and we'll see you next time on the next episode of Once Upon a Story Time. Goodbye, everyone.
Take care. Bye.